Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going back into some standard 2022 with a D&D themed deck that's not quite D&D themed, because unfortunately the D&D set didn't really include a lot of the party mechanic. Today we're going to be partying, in the words of known scholar Andrew W.K., let's get this party going. Now it's time to party, and we'll party hard. Party hard. Let's get a party going. Let's get a party going. And when it's time to party, we will always party hard. And indeed we shall. Today is party time. So, let's talk about it, shall we? So this is a kind of a left behind mechanic from the Zendikar set that was built around party. A party consists of up to each a cleric, rogue, warrior, and a wizard. So, if you can get all of those things in play, some of these cards will give you a little bit of upside. So this is kind of like a tribal deck, but it's for tribes. We have ways of making the tribes a little bit easier on us, so that we don't have to have 4 separate creatures doing 4 separate jobs. We have like Mass Vandal and Tajuro Paragon, as well as the Bears of Litjara. These two make shapeshifters, which have every creature type. So they fill in the party roles that we don't currently have. So if we need a DJ, they can be a DJ. That kind of thing. If they want to be the drunk, they can be the drunk. Paragon can unfortunately not be either of those things. It can only be a cleric, rogue, warrior, or a wizard. Whichever one it needs to fill the role that the other creatures have not filled anyway. So, yeah, it's a tribal deck. We're going to be playing on curve. We're going to be playing lots of creatures and beating down our opponents. So let's basically talk about the party payoffs rather than the rest of the deck, because we are very capable of building the party. It's just what happens when we party hard. So, let's put all of the party stuff into a pile. So, right at the top, we got the Archpriest of Iona, one of the best 1-drops in the standard 2022 format right now. It's a 1-mana X2, where its power is equal to the number of creatures in your party. So this thing can hit for 5 once it's got a full party. And once it's got a full party, it says at the beginning of combat, if you have a full party, target creature gets +1/+1 and flying until the end of the turn. So this gives it a little bit of evasion to go over the top of our opponent and hopefully swing for some hefty damage. It's nice to have a 1-mana combat trick that nobody really sees coming, and also have it on a body that is very threatening. We've got 2 copies of Concerted Defense. This is a 1-mana counter non-creature spell unless its controller pays 1 plus an additional 1 for each creature in your party. So again, we can make this do quite a fair bit. This allows us to essentially survive board wipes as well as the Linvala down the line as well. It's the main reason why this is in the deck. Otherwise, you might want to just put some more party stuff in here. But I think a 2 of Concerted Defense is where I leaned on. In testing, I had it at 4, and I've slowly reined it back a little bit, because you don't have too many slots in this deck for non-party creatures, because obviously you really need to get up to that 4 creature limit, because if it's the 3 creature limit, it's just a boring old party. So yeah, you need the full party, so you can't really afford to leave too many slots for non-creatures. Speaking of, Spoils of Adventure in the top end. It's a 6-mana instant that costs 1 less for each creature in your party, and then it allows you to gain 3 life and draw 3 cards. So this is a solid way for us to get back into the game if our opponent has successfully managed to sweep our board. It can be a 2-mana instant, draw 3, gain 3, which is absolutely superb. We've got Nimble Trap Finder as well, another way of getting back into the game, as well as a lot of early game aggression as well. 2-mana 2/1. It cannot be blocked if you had a cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard enter the battlefield under your control this turn. Obviously, every single one of our creatures is one of those classes, so this is usually, as long as you are drawing creatures, unblockable 2/1 every single turn. It says at the beginning of combat, if you have a full party, creatures you can control gain, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That applies to every single creature on the board at the time. So Trap Finder being an unblockable 2/1 that draws a card is pretty good. You got your Archpriests that make creatures flying that will then draw a card, which is awesome. Linvala is naturally flying, and that's our next creature. Linvala, 3-mana 3/3 with flying. The beginning of your combat, if you have a full party, you can choose to target a non-land permanent, and until the end of your turn, until the end of your next turn. It can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated, which is really super useful. The main reason it's in here, though, is because it is a wizard. Secondary reason is because it can be sacrificed to give all of your creatures either hexproof or indestructible. So that allows you to maintain your party status. Nobody's going to stop the party as long as Linvala's here to say otherwise. So if your opponent goes for a Doomscar, you can sack, gain indestructible. So it's another way, similar to the concerted defense, that we can survive board wipes. The most popular ones at the moment, though, are Crippling Fear and Shadow's Verdict. When it comes to Shadow's Verdict, not really much we can do except for lose and cry. But when it comes to Crippling Fear, we have a little bit of a defense against that. Since the Mass Vandal and the Bears of Litjara make shapeshifters, shapeshifters have all creature types, so the Crippling Fear cannot select a single card type that doesn't apply to these guys. So these are immune to that particular board wipe. So we only really have to worry about turn 5 board wipes quite a lot of the time. So Linvala's super useful there. And finally, Squad Commander, 4 mana 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, you create a 1/1 white core warrior token for each creature in your party. And that allows you to really party hard, especially considering once we hit the combat on our turn, we can have +1/+0 and indestructible until the end of the turn for our full-on party. So we can take it to the streets, I guess, and set off some fireworks and things like that. So yeah, that's essentially the deck. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. As I said, I think either in this deck tech already or at the end of the video, this is kind of a tier 2.5 deck. So for the rares that you actually have to include to build it, you're not going to get anything out of it that's too competitive. Even the mana base is quite kind of expensive. I suppose I should mention that we do have Temple of the Dragon Queen in here as a pseudo 3-colored land here. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you reveal a dragon card from your hand or have a dragon in play. And again, Mass Vandal is a dragon, so that can help you make this an untapped land. And then when it enters the battlefield, you choose a color, where the color is going to be whatever you're missing at any time. The mana can definitely be a little bit of a troublesome spot for this deck, but other than that, it's super sweet, super fun, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, hit that like button, subscribe, you know the drill, and I'll see you all there. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty, we're in, and we've got a 2, 3, and 4 kind of curve. It's not the worst curve in the world, I suppose. So we'll keep this one. Hope for the best that it's not a terrible matchup that punishes slow progression, which is certainly what we'll be doing for a while. Yeah, I mean, all colours of mana. Certainly bodes well. I think they mulled once or twice, so looks like they mulled once. Let's put down the island here. And the bark channel to follow. Alright, and actually not the bark channel to follow. We get our basics out first, because you never know what side you want to put your pathways on. And the longer you can take to decide that, the better. So it's a red-black deck that does not want to push into my Masked Vandal. Understandable. We're going to go with the Bears of Litjara here. They're not running red Snowlands for Frostbite. Doesn't mean that they wouldn't be running something like Flunk, though. I guess I can get in here. They couldn't attack. It doesn't mean they want to block either. Next turn I've got 2 4/4s, and that's going to be really nice. Ooh, the Mardu. Well, I don't want to block. So, 2 4/4s, please. See if any of them die in response. They do not. Very nice. I think the line is just hold up and concerted defense here and hit them for 8. Because I've got the board state right now that really will win me the game. One blocker's going to die as well, so that's kind of cute. So it's a counter unless you pay 3 on the concerted defense. Next turn I could play the squad commander and still hold open this spell if I don't use it here. I guess there's also a chance I top deck a Despair Sentinel or an Archpriest. Both of those would actually enable my full party payoff, which is nice. That's +1/+0 and indestructible here. Showdown of the Scalds. I'm going to say that I don't care about that. And I'll just hit the payoff cards instead. Ooh, I can't really hit an Orcus, but looks like I won't need to. So, hit you. 1 to me. Do this, and do this. Could find that this is greedy. You know, we're not killing our opponent here. So, on the off chance they are running like Doomed Scars, that could be a problem. But Orcus doesn't have the mana to back it up here. In fact, they can't even use the -X because they lose X life. Yeah, gone too wide. Everything's swinging through indestructibly down the line, so it's sweeper or bust there. Pretty sure. I don't think they could gain enough life. And yeah, they certainly couldn't block enough, so yeah. Sweeper or bust, and this is clearly not a deck that runs sweepers. So pretty good, pretty good. Alrighty, we're in, and perfect mana. Perfect hand, really. Yeah, let's keep this. So we got the Temple of the Dragon Queen, which we can use the Mask Vandal to reveal. Might as well, because... well, might as well. Guess it really doesn't make too much of a difference. Like, if we went with the Despair Center, we could go Vandal Iona, which I think is probably what we want to do. Yeah, let's get the Despair Sentinel out there. Also means this code spell Cleric needs a counter before it can get through, or maybe an Aspirant. Yeah, so they got the Aspirant. It's going to be annoying. For a while, they are going to get ahead of us. But I think we'll be okay. Choose a color. We're going to choose blue. Masked Vandal. And Archpriest. Next time we actually have the full party ready to go with the Paragon, so we get to fly over for 5 points, so suddenly that code spell Cleric is being outraced, which is kind of good. Well, that's the thing. Does that actually do anything? We don't care about the snow. The non-creature spells cost 2 more. That actually matters. Spoils of Adventure basically doesn't get any... interesting. Put it on Redeem. Doesn't get any discount. So, let's go Paragon. Temple on... say green. Yeah, kind of offer the trade. I mean, we're not going to get this for very long, so... make the most of it now. So what do we want next? A squad commander would be really good. I think that's probably our best draw. Clarion Spirit, that's not great for us. We could also... yeah, I think it's really just squad commander that we want here. Nimble Trap Finder, like, has some value, but... well, might as well just block here. It's a free block. In fact, I can honestly just... kill it, really. I think I'm happy with losing a Despair Sentinel. It removes our party if we don't draw a good card, but we're losing if we don't draw a good card anyway. So, yeah, I think Flooded Out is a good reason to scoop, so on to the next one. Okay, this is a thing. We're keeping this hand. I mean, we can turn 1 Archpriest of Iona, revealing the Mass Vandal. And I think that's how that works, right? You reveal a dragon from your hand. Yeah, so it's only on ETB, it chooses a color. It's not actually the color of the dragon we reveal. So that's pretty good. So we play the Temple, revealing the Vandal, play Archpriest, then we play Archpriest maybe next turn. It's hard to say. I mean, if we went with Vandal, we are pumping up the Archpriest, but long term it has more value, I think, if we play these three first. Who knows? I mean, top decks pending, of course, for those lines of play. Never Winter Dryad. So I think this is like the Simic list. So reveal you, put this on white, because we have all three colors of mana, so let's play the one that we can reveal now. Getting the Paragon, though, is very nice here. That actually means that I probably... They're not even going to go for a block sack, by the way. It's very interesting. So if I went with Vandal, I hit them for 2. If I went with the double Archpriest, I hit them for 1, but then threaten quite a little bit more later. I think I go Vandal, because then I can go Paragon, Archpriest. So let's get this on green. I mean, I guess I could play the Paragon as well. It's more damage, I suppose. Yeah, let's do that. This is number 3. If we draw a Jasperis Sentinel, then Vandal Sentinel is an option. Lotus Cobra with an Evolving Wilds. Okay. So this is like a green-white landfall list. Very interesting. You are 5 mana. I kind of expect Mass Vandal to get some value, honestly, if they're playing the 4 mana thing that makes cats. I'll want to kill that very, very quickly. So I think I'm just going to go Archpriest, Archpriest. And question whether or not I want to trade a Paragon. Makes my spoils more expensive. But it does put a creature in the yard for the Vandal at that point. Which is kind of what I'm hoping to gain from it. Yeah, looks like it was 3 damage. Makes sense. So they get a land down here. Vastwood Surge is the card they're going to go for. So these cards mustn't be all that good, surely, if you're making that line of play. Yeah. There's another Spoils, so... yeah, let's go Spoils of Adventure here. Could potentially draw into lots of cards that would actually enable a full party. And then the attack next turn's great, so this time I'm not actually going to trade the Paragon off. Because we can do Linvala, Mass Vandal, that's full party, that's like 15 damage in the air. So they're going to kind of have to win the game or deal with the board state. I don't think they can win the game. Yeah, it's a big bail-off. Alright, that stops them from dying. Gets rid of the Paragon. And I'll take 10. To be honest, actually, that might have been a bad idea. I think I should have blocked with 1 Archpriest because I can kill the Portable Hull, get my Paragon back. So yeah, I think that was a sequencing error for sure. Because now I can't actually do that. Let's see if they want to... this is on green. trade the Archpriest now. So I've done this in a horrible sequence, so they might look at this and think I'm trading a Linvala for an Archpriest, but actually what they're doing is they're trading an Archpriest for a full party. Because now they've enabled the Mass Vandal, which gets rid of that portable hull, giving me my Paragon back, and giving me the means to win the game. So, they return a land. So they can make landfall triggers next turn. Maybe a big lair of the Hydra. I'll have to see what they want to do here. Mammoth, sure. So I only really need to block enough to not die. And I'm pretty sure that's doable. And then bears can make up for me losing Linvala if I want to block sack as maybe an option. You're only hitting me for 9 though. No hidden information. Yeah, we take it. You are dead. I don't see any particular reason why... Ooh, hello. Why I would block there, so... I guess we'll just go Squad Commander. It doesn't really make a difference either way, I've already got the full party, but... This still works. Gives me indestructible on the attack. 2 Archpriests go over the top. I prevent a creature from blocking. So that's just going to be Lotus Cobra, I guess. And doesn't really matter, because Linvala and the double Archpriest are going to be enough for lethal here. We even get to swing in. Let's play Spoils. Let's see what we would have drawn. Ooh, Nimble Pathfinder and Concerted Defense. Not bad cards, actually. So yeah, they block, and die. That's pretty disgusting. Yeah, assuming we untap next turn and we haven't killed them there, we've got more than enough little token blockers here to deal with their board state, and then the follow-up for us is actually going to be like Trap Finder with a counterspell backup. The Trap Finder makes it so that every single one of our creatures draws a card when it deals combat damage, so drawing at least 3 cards, plus, you know, whatever's left over. So the game is definitely over based off of the draws that we had there. If it wasn't already, which obviously it was. So pretty good. On to the next one. Okay. Opponent goes first. We have a turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3 play that allows us to survive sweepers. And then we got a backup one as well. So I'm going to keep this. Another Paragon. That's quite nice. So, Sentinel go. Woodland Chasm for our opponent. So there's been kind of like a Golgari Harnessed Infinity deck cropping up recently. That might be what we're up against here. Opponent just makes a Pest and leaves. Okay. We're going to go attack for 1. And play a Paragon. We actually have the full party capability here, which is quite nice. Not really a payoff, though. This is basically just a pacifism on our combat, but... You know. Better than nothing, I suppose. We would love a Nimble Trap Finder, I guess, at this stage. Shambling Ghast. Well, that not being able to block is also pretty good. If we can make that happen. So, Bears of Litjara. Are you the card we are looking for? I suppose you are. That's the 4/4 next turn. I can't attack because of the Shambling Ghast. Although, I guess... I'm trying to think whether or not I would care if they killed Jaspera Sentinel on the attack here. It would put them into Shadow's Verdict range for next turn. There's Sultai as well. Maybe we just hold back. Not too sure on that one. Binding of the Old Gods. So do they hit the creature or do they hit my future 4/4? Okay. That works for me. That is totally fine in my books. No current way of us to kill the Binding of the Old Gods except for post-combat Vandals. I don't mind that as such, though. But it is really only getting a forest anyway, and... This is full party. This allows me to say this can't block. And I think that works for me. Not safe from Verdict or Crippling Fear, but we can get Indestructible, we can get Hexproof. We're not too fussed about making that happen as well, because we've got the spare one. We'll hunt for specimens. Got 3 mana, so they could do a... there's a Sacrifice to Exile, or the Exile to Exile card. But they're going to go for a Mascot Exhibition instead. It's probably fair. I think they're on that mana next turn. Yep. Archpriest. Very nice. Well, that's a little bit of extra damage. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm in the need to use any of my extra cards here. I think I'm more than capable of winning right now. So, Shambling Gas can't block. Paragon is flying. And let's swing with everyone. Got to get the pressure on. The Exhibition's going to stop our pressure, and this gets a double block from them, so that's totally fine. So we can use essentially 2/3 of our hand to actually get the full party back again, and our opponent won't be able to do much about it. Although we've still got full party, so yeah, not too fussed. So the Death Touching Binding of the Old Gods doesn't matter at all. The Paragon we can use to rebuild for 5. If we draw a land, we could probably play that. Deadly Dispute. Can't kill anything, so here comes the Treasure. Guess to guarantee that they can Mascot Exhibition. We can use the Linvala to stop the 2/1 flyer from being able to block us, which is nice. So it's not a great line for them to do it. Gonna go for Destroy All Creatures, alright, so Indestructible. Don't know if they thought this one out too much. It's a Shambling Ghast, which won't be able to block next turn. And another Archpriest. So, Ghast can't block. This is lethal, I believe. I tap Linvala to get the Archpriest. We got 7 here, plus the 2 from the Archpriest of Iona triggers flying over the top. So that should get it done. You can't block, but you couldn't anyway. +1, +1. We can sack for Indestructible. Or Hexproof if they've got Flunk. And opponent might still have something here. Gonna go for Deadly Dispute. So they sack the Shambling Gas to give the -1/-1. We already have the answer to this on board and ready to use. So we're gonna activate. Give Hexproof to fizzle that trigger. Does put us to 1, put them to 1, but I guess maybe I shouldn't have done that for that reason. For some, in my head, we never lost the power there. But obviously in my head, I am wrong. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. I don't think it does, because we once again just do our thing. Full party. Kill the treasure. Forced to use it in response. Just trying to think now whether or not there's anything I have to concern myself that would make me want to play this Paragon. I guess there's no reason not to play the Paragon. They need an answer to an Archpriest here. Yeah. Flying, flying, blocked, not blocked, dead. So that one point, that one black mana needed to do something here. And it looks like it wasn't capable of doing that. Yeah, obviously, I think when they sacked the Shambling Gas to the Deadly Dispute, I shouldn't have sacked my own Linvala. That would have made this turn a lot less questionable, but as I said, I brain farted and basically forgot that I lost a point on my Archpriest that way. So I lost a 3-3 to, in my head, go for lethal, but in my head I was wrong. On to the next one. Okay, this hand's real nice. Maybe we can get a Trap Finder going here. I think we're keeping this one. So, we've got all 3 colours of mana. Across all 3 pathways. We're going to lead with the Archpriest. We'll do it on... I don't think it really matters. Take this one. Next turn, go Trap Finder. Monk of the Open Hand. Ooh, bears as well. This one matters. This should be on blue, because this needs to be on green. Party on, dude! So when bears enters, it means that the Trap Finder is going to be unblockable. Turn after that, when we play Mass Vandal, every single creature is going to draw me cards, and bears is going to be a 4-4, so it either trades or draws. Has to deal combat damage to a player to do it as well. So I'm really liking where we're at so far. Our opponent's best turn is an Aspirin, I guess? Or maybe some Portable Holes. Usher of the Fallen. And a Portable Hole. Alright, so they got everything. Well, we have an interesting line we can take, which is to trade the Archpriest here with the Usher. If they take it, Mass Vandal gets me back my dude. Otherwise, we play Paragon. Take it. Dang it. Alright, fine. Actually, maybe we just play one Mass Vandal here. So 1-3 that blocks the Usher. Now we can play the bears and make 2 4-4s. That Portable Hole was clutch for sure. But, you know, if you're not going to have it in your opening hand, what's the point in having it at all? That's annoying. Probably when I hit the Mass Vandal, it's the most damage that they can send forward at my face, and it represents the most party enabling options. Yep. Got a Squad Commander. Let's play bears. I'm curious if they want to trade the Apparition. It's basically a 2-2 with upside for a 2-2 with no upside that then puts a creature in my yard for Vandal. I think they're certainly keeping this in mind when they decide on their blocks. It's pretty clear that's the case to me. Elite Spellbinder, that's really good. Now they know that they shouldn't ever block my creatures in a way that gives me back my portable hull. What do you take here, Squad Commander? I get a 2-drop regardless, but Squad Commander is kind of a really cool payoff. Gets me 3 1/1s and then parties up later. And definitely attacks through my opponent's board state. I've also got to keep in mind that I'm going to be able to 4/4 fight something. And this is a spirit, right? A blue illusion, actually. So not part of my party on dude lifestyle. And yep, take 4. Might as well get in with the apparition as well. It's not actually trading a 2/2 for a 2/2, it's trading a 2/2 for a 4/4. Right, so you're a 4/4. Let's go Paragon. Am I building the board? I kind of think I might as well. It's like the Trap Finder's really nice. But I think I'm offering my Archpriest up, honestly. Keep the 4/4 back to blocks, see if we trade a 3/1 for a 5/3. I think they're taking this. If they don't take it, it's dead next turn, because I think it's pretty much my best target for the Bears, Chapter 3. Unless I've got another Skyclave Apparition, in which case I was never going to win. So, again, we're at the stage where any of my top-end cards, Squad Commander or Spoils of Adventure, will be the best draws that I could possibly get. Yep. Easy block is easy. Surprised it... Well, to be honest, I'm surprised it took so long for them to figure that one out. Seemed like an obvious block to me. Yeah, not so obvious attacks now. I don't think they really benefit from it. Luminarch Aspirant. I'm going to absolutely snipe that down. And I will trade my 4/4 with the Monk, given the option. Although, yeah, I was going to say maybe the Chapter 3 hits the Monk, but no, the Aspirant represents some more damage over time. So, goodbye, Aspirant. One land and Paragon is another creature. I think I can afford to wait on that. Because we already have full party if we just draw another creature that benefits from the full party. We have Spoils of Adventure into Paragon. Or Paragon into Spoils of Adventure, actually. We're just waiting for our one payoff card to come along. We got the land. We want this on... I'd say we want this on white. Let's kick a Paragon. Nimble Trap Finder's real good. Alright. Pass the turn. Land drop is Squad Commander. So indestructible attacks. Our opponent's really got to get aggressive now. Otherwise, they are in trouble to what we currently have. Trap Finder Archpriest. So anything that deals combat damage now draws as a card. The Trap Finder is indestructible the next time we play anything useful. I think we make the Paragon flying. We get in like so. Yeah. So we're definitely drawing one card. We're drawing two if they don't block with the Monk. So we can get that off the table. I'm hoping that our opponent doesn't have a combat trick for their last card. Looks like they don't. Fantastic. So we draw the Bears of Litjara. Not terrible. Our 1/3 is a 4/4 soon. They do have a cave now, which allows them to fly over. But I think this should be just enough, honestly. This land drop means Squad Commander, means indestructible creatures, means drawing for every single creature that doesn't get blocked. And every single creature that does some blocking dies. So, really super useful. I think that should do it. So, really doesn't matter who flies, but let's make it be you. Everything gets +1/+0 and indestructible. And it all deals combat damage, so I actually want to math that out, because I feel like there's maybe a chance they survive, but the card advantage takes them out of it. So we make you flying, you're drawing a card, you're drawing a card, so that's 5, 6, 7. Then we've got 8, 9, 10. After that, everything needs to be blocked. So they have to block here, they have to block here. So Apparition blocks here, Usher blocks here. They're alive, but they've basically lost their entire board. And we draw several cards. The attack back isn't enough, because we've got ground creatures for days. It's just that they've got a 3/4 flyer here, but I don't think they can make up the damage to really make that relevant. They have to tap out, so the board state that they currently have here has to be the one that makes this a lethal attack, and obviously that ain't happening. So yeah, pretty good durdling towards the end. It looks like we came out on top in the, as it were, though, and we actually managed to get every party enabling mechanic to go off here. It's a shame that we didn't have our angel lady, whose name is escaping me, who is not on the board at the moment. Because if we had her, we would have had every single when your party is full option online. So it's pretty nice to have 3 out of 4. Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video anyway. This deck is quite sweet. It is kinda not great. I would put it in the tier 2.5 category, to be honest, but it has some explosive starts. And yeah, it's just really fun to play around with the party mechanic, actually. And surprisingly easy to enable. I think the only downside to this deck is the mana base, and we'll see what happens with the new Innistrad set. Maybe we get the other fast lands, similar to the Snarls from Strixhaven. We get the opposite ones. Because I think they were originally Shadows over Innistrad, I think. Is that where they were? I don't know. But maybe we get those printed in, and if we do, then the mana base might look a little bit better. I don't know if it's better than Pathways, though, so who knows? Who knows, really? But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you have, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and yeah, take care, and good night.